Okay, so Jund Storm Herald. This is a deck that we've played a bunch as this format's developed, and I think it remains pretty competitive even today. It gets a solid upgrade in Faithless Looting this most recent set. So Storm Herald here, our namesake, when it enters the battlefield, it has haste, and it says you may return any number of auras from your graveyard to the battlefield attached to creatures you control. Exile those auras at the beginning of the next end step. If those auras would leave the battlefield, exile them instead of putting them anywhere else. So what is this deck looking to do? We are a self-mill deck. We're looking to dump a bunch of cards into our own graveyard. And the cards we dump include Ancestral Mask, which gives enchanted creature 2/2 for each other enchantment on the battlefield. Prodigious Growth. And then Rune Might, as well as Setessan Training to give trample and draw extra cards. And then we put a Storm Herald into play, we attach a bunch of enchantments to it, and we attack for a bunch. An absolute nut straw with this deck can put Storm Herald with 2 or 3 Ancestral Masks and a trample card on it on turn 3 and attack for lethal on the 3rd turn of the game. You don't always have your namesake card that early. That's one of the reasons why Faithless Looting is better, though. It helps us find our namesake card, and this deck actively wants to put all of these enchantments in the bin. We've got things like Binding of the Titans, as well as Calls the Dead here to help us pick this up out of the bin. We got Calls the Death Dweller to return it to play. And then out of the sideboard, we have kind of a pivot/juke, which is rather than fighting people over our graveyard when they have graveyard hate in the post-board game, so like against blue-white control, for example, we're literally going to board in all 15 cards here and turn into just Jund mid-range that like plays these for cantrip value and has discard spells and non-graveyard based threats. So we're going to turn into a Jund value deck against fair decks that are looking to beat us with graveyard hate. So let's go ahead and dive on into some games with this and see how it goes. Oh, Zerg. This deck is a great best of one deck. Can I keep lands Faithless Looting? I feel like I can keep lands Faithless Looting. Let's find out, huh? We did Industrious, yeah. Yeah, I'll take a zombie. Usually you don't want to exile the enchantments that you're looking to bring back, but... Huh? I'm gonna decline here. This is pretty unfortunate. And this happens with a deck like this sometimes, you know, we're currently 23 cards into our deck without our card named Storm Herald, right? So sometimes, you know, the card our deck is named after is buried in the bottom, you know, third of your deck, and you are just going to brick off. Unfortunate that it's looking like it's going to happen in our first game here, but it also, like, not putting us under a lot of pressure, so, like, we have time. Yeah, it looks like they're mono black ramp. And again, we could just, like, peel a Storm Herald next turn and punk them, right? Look at Scry 2 here with this. Yeah, if they have a piece of main deck graveyard hate, we're going to get got by main deck graveyard hate. That just happens. I mean, to be fair, we don't even really care about Ugin. Well, we're 31 cards into our deck. All right, I'm gonna break out the how unlucky calculator, are we? We're actually not that statistically unlucky, chat. We're only currently 96% to have the card we're looking for in the top part of our deck. So, Cage actually doesn't stop Storm Herald. So, if we peel a Storm Herald, we get to go still. I actually don't think I want to play this, because I don't really want to risk milling Storm Heralds. There are 2 Witherbloom commands in the deck, but we don't care about Cage. Okay, I'm gonna play Calls the Dead now, even though we could mill Storm Herald, because I want to be able to beat a piece of spot removal if we do draw Storm Herald. Four Storm Heralds and 18 cards, chat. Are we sure there's Storm Heralds in the deck? We are not. Yeah, we are now 99.4% to have seen a Storm Herald by now. We're about to mill 3 of them next turn, chat. I can feel it. Okay, there's 3 Storm Heralds in 14 cards, chat. We're 40% to find a Storm Herald with this. Yes! 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 Ah! Alright, I lied. That was a great first showing for the deck. I thought we were gonna have a sad showing. Turns out we were fine. Casual 100 plus damage. God, shout outs to the opponent for playing a deck that couldn't interact with us. Thank you for not killing me, opponent. Appreciate you. Man, is this even a sideboard juke game plan? Do we even juke? They probably have like Tormod's Crypt and stuff, right? They would have gotten it, right? I think we cut the Call of the Death Dwellers. So here's the thing, though. If I want to not juke, I should not juke for game 3 on the play, right? Right? Yeah, they're definitely on Ugin, that's true. What if I just do Thoughtseizes? What do we think of that? I'm gonna cut the calls, I'm gonna cut the Mire Tritons, we'll board in for Thoughtseize. Thoughtseize is a fine hedge, right? And we have a couple of Witherbloom commands to interact with things on board still. Well, so, Mr. Legal, we have a very real chance of hitting all of our cards, is the problem. So in general, you shouldn't worry about milling a card you want to draw, but when our sample size, the amount we're milling is like a third of the cards left in our deck, you then add a real chance of milling every card that you want to draw, is the differential there. Honestly, it might be wrong to not have 4 Binding of the Titans. I think there's a chance that Binding is better than the call the whatevers. No, not Calls the Dead. Calls the Dead mills 6 cards. The card I'm talking about is, what's the word? I'm fumbling on the name of it. The Call the Death Dweller. Yes. The shuffler is as rigged as the earth is flat. The truth is out there. Wake up, sheeple. That's actually really scary, huh? Man, we are really bad at drawing. We are really bad at drawing, what's it called? How do you feel about quad blocking Tier Guard? Trip blocking Tier Guard here. Okay. We've been pretty unlucky this game, but that's pretty good for us. It's 2 champions in the bin. Two life's actually a big deal, because 2 life means I can no longer shock in a red land. So I can't Faithless Looting. I can't Faithless Looting into Storm Herald red land. Yeah, I think based on seeing how they're playing post-board, I definitely want to be on my primary game plan. Honestly, Witherbloom seems kinda... That's fine. It's just like, try and draw Storm Herald on our opener this time. Well, seems decent. I don't know. I don't really want to interact with them. Like, the interaction only seems decent in that game because, like, we got through 40 cards without a Storm Herald for a second game in a row. And if we just, like, have Storm Herald, they die. There's just gonna be all Storm Heralds. Storm Heralds all the way down. Sand's very good. If these hit well, we can kill them on 3. Pretty sure they're supposed to take Binding there. Does Binding rebuys this? Unless they're gonna have... Unless they have a, what's it called in hand? If they have a Cling to Dust in hand, their play is fine. If they don't have Cling, they messed up. Okay. We have them, we have them dead next turn regardless, right? So I should get the zombie, just in case they have a way to interact with my Storm Herald. Gonna be 4 color for Barrier Rights? I don't think that's worthwhile. I think that's too graveyard focused. Usually you don't have a hard time finding the Storm Herald. Alright, so they're dead. This is why Binding is great. There should be 4 Bindings in this deck for sure. Mask, Growth, Mask, Growth. This deck's super consistent. Like, what we did here is definitely closer to the average than, like, what happened in those first 2 games. Those first 2 games were definitely statistical outliers in my experience playing this a bunch. I do think I want 4 bindings, though, to, make ourselves a little more consistent. Binding is sweet because it picks our Storm Herald up and it fills the graveyard. It's everything we want to be doing. If you haven't seen this deck before, this is one of the many amazing historic decks you've missed out on by not keeping up on my YouTube channel. It's our first time playing it this season, but we've played this one a ton in the past. It's usually 3 to 5 deck videos uploaded there every single day of the week. A lot of great stuff to shift through and find things that are outside of the normal metagame that allow you to attack it in sweet and interesting ways. This deck would love a Grizzly Salvage, you're not wrong. This hand's really good. Needs a Storm Herald, but gets a lot of looks at it. If this hits well, we could turn 3 them. Did I say 3 to 5 decks a week? I meant to Dave. This deck's super playable with a mulligan or 2. You just need a couple of graveyard enablers. And this card, like, milling Phoenix deck looks awkward, but chapter 2 on this actually exiles Phoenixes too, which is great. Hey, Mega Man, thank you for the Prime support. There's a lot of great people you can send that to every single month. Thanks for sending it this way this month. So I don't get to draw a card here, but they milled 3 more for me, which is better than drawing a card, so God bless. If they pass with removal mana up here, I won't jam Storm Herald. The way you play around removal with this deck is by getting multiple creatures into play to return your auras onto. Hey, good luck on the rest of your ladderings today. No need to be nervous. We're super casual and friendly here. Sick. Kill you. Look at my opponent. Look at my opponent tapping out. Not ready. Not ready for the big thunks, chat. Don't tell Scotty, chat. They don't know. Again, doing this on turn 3 to 4. This is like not really that far off of the average. Attack you for 28. Yeah, we were super unlucky in our first game against you. Scotty knows that they do not like it, chat. Scotty's seen enough. Take the match points and run. Star, thank you for the brand new Prime support. There's a ton of great people you can drop that off to every single month. Thanks for sending it this way this month and keeping me around. This deck's gotta be absurd in best of 1. I can't even imagine. Like, I've watched a couple other people playing best of 1 historic, and it's a real silly place. Yeah, I mean, this is keepable, right? Faithless Looting to go digging. It's a loot house. Yikes. I've got huge tracts of land. Q into best of when it's all mono red for historic? Really? That surprises me. Mono red's not super good in this format. It's like fine. Playing this feels like Affinity Game 1 from 2016. Yeah, it's a good comparison. So, all of the historic deck pages on my website are just there as point of references. If you go to my main page of my website, you'll notice they're not linked in the navigation anymore. Later this summer, I'm expecting that I'll take the time to put historic deck pages back up on my website, but I'm waiting for the format to settle down a bit before I invest both time and money into updating those pages. Because for new decks, I have to pay a graphics designer to make banners, and it takes me a non-zero amount of time to do updates there. Well, it's our turn to get high rolled, chat. Ooh. I'm gonna trade Mire's for Klothys and mostly stay on our primary game plan. With looting, do you trim a few lands? We did trim a few lands. Yeah, we're down to 21 lands, Seth. You also can't go that low on lands in general in a deck like this because you need 3 colors of mana. So Cage stops exactly the 3 mana return a thing to play. Yes, main phase brainstorms are much better for sure. I'm glad you picked up a tip. What are COVID restrictions like where I live? Well, I live in America, where we have lots of freedoms. So, in general, COVID restrictions are more like suggestions, which basically means me having a brain in my skull and a base understanding of science means I don't leave my house very frequently, if at all. Probably a mulligan, right? It needs a second land. So I feel like if this hand had a Storm Herald in it, I'd snap it off. But the fact that it doesn't have a Storm Herald makes the risk to reward not worthwhile. Yeah, this is much better, right? We bottom this. Missing a Black Source, but I have had my first Pfizer COVID poke. Our restaurant's open where I live. I believe they are. My wife and I did start getting takeout again, but we haven't been inside of a restaurant in a real long time. Well, it's not quite halfway there for me because I have 3 children and vaccines for children aren't even submitted for emergency approval anywhere yet. So I think we do this and get some more cards in the bin here. Yeah, I'm familiar with a few people that live in Canada, and the way that they've handled things there seems very reasonable. They're dead, right, or did you not see it correctly? You did not. I had just these two in the bin this turn. I added this one, so next turn we can try and get them. This will be 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. We'll see. I'm looking forward to my children being able to go back to school safely. I did not feel anything other than a slightly sore arm after the first shot. I'm told the second one is the one that usually knocks people on their ass, though. I'm planning to schedule the day after my second shot as not being live. I'm getting it on a Wednesday afternoon, so I'm gonna take that Thursday off and possibly that Friday as well. I guess we could get Brazen Borrowered here. Maybe I'm not supposed to jam into Brazen Borrower. I drew the second one, which makes me not mind jamming into Counterspell. The only thing I really expect to change about my life in the short term with another shot is we're gonna have other vaccinated friends over to play board games together. It's my plan for things to be slightly different. My buddy Andrew in chat and D-Philly are both local. And we just all play board games together. Looking forward to doing that again. Okay, looking forward to getting to enjoy this shelf back here with people who can read at something above a first grade level. Playing games with my children is great, but it's just not the same as being able to play with adults. They ditched 2 Phoenix and then passed, so I think I'm just gonna looting again here. As a Magic player, that must be hard to come by. Yeah, untapped land lets us go thing here. It should be sick. That seems harsh on Christy, that's fair. So, growth. Rune, growth, mask. I have 2 lethal threats. It doesn't seem like this card's likely to have much text here. I'm gonna go ahead and board in a couple of Shifting Ceratops. It's just like a threat I can jam through their counter spells. The arena interface does a number of things well. It has some obvious misses, but yeah, like the what's it called? Storm Herald interface is great. Big agree. Questing Beast sees plenty of play, Eusebus. There were 3 or 4 Questing Beasts in the girl deck that just won the Hoaglandia Open. Yeah, we've been hitting about 1,700 pretty consistently, Tongsby. Yes, yesterday's stream was exceptionally low viewer count because I had to take an hour break in the middle. You take that short break, it just never recovers. Thanks everybody for out here, by the way. Remember, if you're new to the channel, drop a follow. stop by again sometime. Here 5 days a week at a minimum. I think probably the redundant Klothys here, huh? Thanks for the follow, Demons. If you like Historic, this is a great place to be. It's the primary format that I play these days. We're gonna try Standard for the first time tomorrow. So I've played 0 games of Standard since the most recent set released, and we're gonna do 1 Standard set tomorrow is the plan.
Dad, the critiques are in. It's unanimous.
What's that, baby girl?
This stream is lacking baby girl.
It now has 100% more baby girl, huh? It's way more cute. You think so?
There's a hammering noise in our house. I didn't hear a hammering noise. Did you hear a hammering noise?
Oh, I think they were referencing me clicking on the... That noise is me clicking on here, Chip. Are they ghosting? Because, like, last game, they just, like, didn't tap out at all when I had Storm Herald. And, like, now they're just, like, going for it, even though I could kill them next turn with the cards in my graveyard. Feels real spooky. Feels real spooky, baby girl.
Happy girl.
This is Haley, for those new to the channel. She is 10 months old.
Oh, I hope they can hear her squeals of delight and she's not getting RTX'd. They're adorable.
I think we're trying to hit a land drop here. Pretty important. Okay, we can bin. I think Shifty Boy's probably too slow at this point. Hey, Spitty, thanks for the brand new Prime support. And Keck W, thanks for the Prime.
Tell Twitch chat, say this is my da.
We're working on noises. Thanks for the follow, Keck. Okay, so we got to spike the Storm Herald next turn. Binding is 2 turns off, unfortunately. We spike the Storm Herald, we win, though. That's what I'm going to be like if we find the Storm Herald. Yay!
Wants to see herself on the big screen.
Now see yourself on the big screen?
Haley, look.
Yeah. He's a cutie.
You're cute.
Alright. Hit me, dealer. Never lucky. Arclight and Stormwing. We get to gain a couple of life. And then, even if they have nothing here, which we know they have a thing because of the looting in the bin. I guess I could have exiled the looting technically, but we'd still be dead on board, right? Very, very close here. Probably win on the play.
Would you like me to take the wiggly worm back?
You're not too wiggly, are you? Yeah, you just chilling? How's that finger taste? Pretty good? That's why you're chewing on it? Easy mulligan here with no second land. Yeah, this is pretty good, right? We'll bottom the Rune of Might. She does have my hair color.
It's getting there, yeah, it's starting to dark. It was very light when she was born, but...
She has more hair than me now, Bob. I no longer have... I'm back to having the least amount of hair in the house. Ooh, are we gonna get Elite Spellbinder next turn? That would be gross. Exile a Storm Herald here, make a zombie friend for blocking. Yeah, we're pretty lucky. We exiled a General Kudro here. This actually exiles stuff out of our bin, so pretty fortunate that that got milled over instead of them having it. Alright, now I'm giving up the Wiggly Worm.
Come here, Wiggly Worm. Wiggly Worm. Wiggly.
Love you, baby girl. No blocks here. We potentially have double blockers next turn. We could also flip over the right things with this and kill them with Storm Herald here. Yeah, Growth will do it, right? It's 21.
That's Daddy's fault.
It's rude. D's turn 4. Yeah, you think that's funny?
Trying to get herself into the frame of the camera. She's totally doing it on purpose. She's looking right at the camera preview.
Alright, so do we expect graveyard hate here? And if so, do we want to fight from the Maelstrom Pulse access, or do we want to fight from the... Do we want to try and turn into a fair game plan? I think I'm just going to bring in the Maelstrom Pulses to try and fight through their graveyard hate with things like Witherbloom in this. And if they don't have it, we can just race them. Maybe trim a Setessan Training here.
Hey, bye-bye to chat. Look, Haley, right here. Bye, chat.
You waving?
You're just cute.
This is probably mulligan, right? Yeah. Don't do anything. Keep bottom. I guess we should keep this because we could put it on here for to draw a card in case we don't have anything else to do with our mana. Bottom of the Grove. She looks like Dad, what a cutie. I think those two statements are incompatible. I don't think you're allowed to both look like me and be a cutie. Rune can go on a land cantrip, that's true. So we drew the Storm Herald. This can fish us up the red land eventually. Looking to dodge General Kudro here. It's able to exile things when humans come into play. Velociraptor TV, thanks for the follow, by the way. Good for the channel. Exiling Skyclave's pretty good. It's gonna be our jump blocker. Maybe I should have jumped with that last turn. The real Dougie Doug. Thanks for the follow. I was like marginally good looking when Christy and I started dating a decade ago. As I was 6 foot and 170 pounds, chat. Exercise regularly. Listen, the 3 children and not leaving my house for a year. Definitely larger than I otherwise would be. This is red, right? This thing lethal, I think we're short, right? I only have... I'm like not close to lethal at all, actually, right? I've just got these two. My dead on board. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I think we just Faithless Looting and ditch these. Looking for a Stitcher Supplier as a draw here. I used to, like, actually go to the gym somewhat regularly. Alright, I think they're dead next turn, right? I got double mask. Double mask. Oh, there's not a Prodigious Growth in here. Huh. We might be short here. I didn't count. So each mask is 6, so that's 12, 13, 14, 17. Yeah, we're definitely short. Rough. I guess I could... The runes both draw cards. So the runes... We need to either find something that mills before we Storm Herald and mill into another one, or we need to draw into another enchantment. I think I YOLO this. So a rune would give us +5 here. You know what's funny too? I think if you look at how I sideboarded, I believe I boarded out a Setessan Training for Maelstrom Pulse. Let's take a look here and see if that's the case. So there's no guarantee that, like, that Maelstrom Pulse was the training, but maybe it was. It wouldn't have quite been lethal, but they would have been forced to jump block a little bit. Again, I think the upside of keeping this hand, I guess with double looting, it's actually kind of high, huh? I've got these 3. Okay. Magic's easy, just draw what you need, chat. Obviously should have lootinged. Would have drawn the Storm Herald. Here's the general. And it isn't just him. He also exiles whatever other humans enter under their control. Okay, a lot of enchantments in the bin. I assume they're going to exile Storm Herald before we get back to it with Binding. I could also just spike a Storm Herald off the top of the deck, though. We've only had 1 in 25 cards. Took my looting. I guess I have another turn before this happens, right? Alright, are we gonna get to punish them here for waiting on the general? Fun of Maelstrom Pulse looking pretty good here. That's great, 3/4. Hey, Fantasy Zen, thanks for the follow. So they know I have a Storm Herald coming, because the binding is sitting in play. I also have one on top of my deck, yeah, so this general can get rid of the Storm Herald out of the bin. And this one off the top of the deck here is just gonna come and mess them up. Oh. Well, in that case, we'll pick this up. And try and put some more cards in the bin. Grow, my children, grow. Sit there, make sure we spread out the power nice and evenly there. All right, Jund Herald, can you spike us 2 more up into the Diamond 4 rank floor? Drag us kicking and screaming across the finish line? Maybe? Is this the chosen one? Afternoon Phantom Wolf? Sure. Those of you that are new to the channel, we here in Oaklandia usually live on the Diamond 4 rank floor. Sometimes playing viewer submissions, we make it all the way up to Mythic, but usually we make it to Diamond most seasons. We play a big range of things here, and we don't sit here and hammer the same deck all day every day, so we rubber band around a lot. Back and forth. Probably need to looting before we herald here. Afternoon Techno Sleeves. They're a control deck. Yeah, the difference, like, getting to Mythic is just, like, an effort thing. Yeah, I technically still have, like a code? Yeah, Hoagland PayPal, I think. If I recall correctly. As a discount code. I do still have my deal with them, technically.
If you wish to surrender, meditate and prepare.
Man! Wait, is this Prodigious Growth lethal? It's gotta be close, right? So this is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15? I could put them, is it really only 15? Count it again. 7, 8, 12, 15. Alright, so a good Stitcher Supplier could kill them here, though. Yeah, if I had one more enchantment, we'd kill them. Damn. This will be the first matchup where we board into our sideboard juke with all of our 15 board cards out of the side. Why didn't we leave those in? Oh, is this a May? Because I'm dumb. Which one? Any number? Yeah. I was gonna attack Narset, you're correct. I changed what I was gonna do. I thought we were ignoring the Narset. Definitely should have left those in there. And even get to draw the card with this. Actually, you know what? I think I'm ditching the Witherbloom Command. Because we're like on track to hardcast this, right? Yeah, I might be wrong to play around Censor here. I guess they had Memory Lapse. They could be a Censor deck. What is up with the audio in Arena? Well, there currently are not any audio issues with Arena on my stream. So if you're having some crackling or distorting, try refreshing your Twitch page. Listening in my headphones, everything sounds fine. It's awkward that both Twitch and Arena have audio bugs, though. Making people guess which of the two they're currently experiencing. He's dead, Jim. You killed him. We shocked in a land to end step Brainstorm. Sure.
My prowess is unmatched by my peers. Just the trick for
How long do you think it will be before players learn how to brainstorm effectively? Well, having played a lot of Legacy, the answer is approximately never.
Such violence is upsetting.
Hey chat, I remembered to kill the Narset before I tried to draw a card. Are you proud of me? You know, honestly, I should probably put this on a land. Want it to die though? I really want to draw a card there. If they killed my zombie in response, I wouldn't get to draw.
Own your prowess.
Robot Man, thanks for the follow.
Reckless and ill-refined.
We have a plan, chat. I'm not saying it's a good plan, but it's a plan. And that's more than you can say for most people, okay? strap up this 1/1 and take him to Prodigious Growth Pound Town.
Let us have a storied battle worth retelling.
Today's been like mono control decks, Carlio. I think if you went back and like counted over the last 7 hours that we've been playing, it was 50+% control decks.
I think you will find my notes
Brick,
helpful.
brick, brick, brick. Whoa, Strider? Really? What are you doing over here? Survey says afternoon, Easy Rider. I'm gonna double attack Tamio here, so this way if they need to down tick her to get a card to not die, they lose her.
Let me aid your research.
Woe Strider seems like a really weird card to name because if they name something else, they could mill this over and then escape it, right? I don't think that this card seems like it's bad to play, but it seems really bad to name when you plus your Tamio, if that makes sense. Yeah, like you name a spell you want to draw, and then like if you hit Woe Strider, you escape it with the 18 cards in your bin. Alright, and like, now we're at the point where there's lethal Storm Heralds in our bin still, so we're not done. I've got 2 Storm Heralds and 2 reanimate spells. Oh, we are done because they're gonna memory us, right?
I have learned much from my ancestors.
Oh, this is a mistake. I should lead on the Supplier. Memory is not an instant. Memory is a sorcery, but you can flash it back with Gear Hulk because commit is an instant. Which often causes confusion.
I know I noted this somewhere.
Hey, we're done here with the memory lapses. Nah, they're just like Saltai-Fair cards, chat. I wonder if they have a way in their 75 to take a Klothys off the table. Hopefully not. So the plan here for the post-board games is to board into just like Klothys commit, technically, sure. That's like a real temporary solution to a permanent problem. That's a Twitch chat answer that technically takes it off the table. That doesn't answer it. I mean, good stuff decks being good, people registering decks full of fair cards are two very different things. Like, half or more of the decks we played against today are just like Howland Fountain Fair decks. People will always register Howland Fountain regardless of whether or not it's playable. Decades of playing Modern has taught me that, if nothing else. Yeah, the Boros deck from earlier was sweet. Definitely the best mid-range deck I've played in this format. Mid-range often struggles in these, in formats like this, so it was nice to hit a deck that felt reasonable. This is the last deck today. Yeah, most likely war game. Definitely, Christy has an appointment at 4:45. Does Grafdigger's Cage do something against us? It makes the opponent feel good. You should always board out your 1 copy or your 2 copies, however many you're playing, of the Reanimate spell in here, so that way Grafdigger's Cage is a blank against you. What is your quest? I seek the Narset! Wanted to make sure we had a land to get back before I got something else here.
My mind needs a rest.
See, chat, Jund mid-range. I'm glad we finally found a Gandalf matchup with this deck so we could show the sideboard juke. Thanks to other lands so we could play Stitcher. Nah, I don't think so. I just want to get as much damage as quick as possible. Hey, Nightmare, good afternoon. Thanks for the Prime support. You can ship that to a lot of places on Twitch. Thanks for sending it this way. And honestly, people asking, like, what does Cage do against us? This is something that happens a ton when you play this deck. Your opponent just doesn't understand how your deck works. Catch you later, Nightmare. Your opponent just doesn't understand how your deck works, so you get to, like, get them because they board in cards like Cage that aren't actually very good against you. What's going on, Chief? Good afternoon. Honestly, they have so many Narsets. I think I'm gonna board out these Faithless Lootings. Just put these back in as more things that attack. Hey, Roller Dude, we are doing swell. Thanks for the 14 months. Welcome back. I mean, Narsets and control decks play if they could play more than 4. Probably not many more than 4. There's a lot of control decks that even only fit in 3 copies as is. It's a card that doesn't play to the board, so you only have room for so many of that effect. I don't know what Eradicator Valkyrie does. This is probably fine. Oh, that card is much worse than Gonti. What's going on, Mikey? Catch us right at the tail end today. Might do. If we win this match, we'll play one more to see if we can pop up into Diamond. But if we lose, I think we're probably going to be done. I'm going to go ahead and do this now, just in case they have an Narset next turn. Drawing an extra card gives me a better chance of having a 3-drop to play as well. I would really like to play, you know, just anything next turn, 2 or 3 mana. You know, this is where the magic happens. That happened very quickly. Actually, a great pickup. There's an enchant creature in my bin here too that it gets to get back and draw a card. This is why Storm Herald's nice, even in the post-board games, is, you know, you get to do stuff like this where he still gets value. Like, we board out our big fancy pieces, and, like, this is still just a card that, like, cantrips and has haste. So it attacks right away. Binding of the Titans looking like a great fair card. Gonna pick Questing Beast back up next turn. Our cards resolved right away, so I wonder what's in their hand. Seems like a whole lot of nothing. Maybe sorcery speed removal, sweepers perhaps. Yeah, makes sense. Okay, a good tempo swing. And again, I get to go ahead and do this and grab my Setessan Training. And then honestly, I think we just drop Klothys before we do this, right? I don't want this in my hand to be a target of a discard spell. PhD and Finzix, thanks for the follow. They do have Crawley be in play here, which can kill my Storm Herald if they leave their mana up, so hopefully Klothys gets to do her thing. All's the Dead is a lovely pickup. I'm gonna exile the cards that I care about, them getting back here because they do play Tamiyo. I can pick stuff back up from the bin. It's a little scary. I suppose if they use memory this turn, it taps them out, and I've got attackers. Yeah, this is a list that always really impressed me, and Faithless Looting is just like such a solid upgrade. We played Cathartic Reunion before, and that card was always so clunky. This is one of those decks where, like, I always wonder, like, what would happen if, like, someone in the MPL, like, looked at this deck list and was like, okay, this deck looks good. I wanna tune it and optimize it. Yeah, all the cathartic greedies are gone, because looting's just better, basically. Not strictly better, obviously, but generally better. I'm gonna explicitly target something that Gear Hulk can't target here, just in case they, like, have a Gear Hulk, and they Gear Hulk in response. Okay, and then I think at this point, I throw away Storm Herald to put them to 1s, that way Klothys' trigger is lethal next turn. So, like, they have Crawling Barons here, so I'm throwing away Storm Herald to deal a point here. Sure, Shark Typhoon's the same thing. So now they have to beat my board, and they have to beat Klothys. And they have to beat Binding, picking Questing Beast back up. This is why we exiled Expertise. Fair. Alright, looks like we're gonna play one more, see if we can, they can remove Klothys with Aether Gust or Commit. So, temporary answers. We're gonna give Jund one more shot. See if it can. So first, I think this is our first Diamond Bubble match of the season. We've been rubber banding up and down a ton. We like play one good deck, then play a bad deck, and play a good deck, and play a bad deck. So, see if we can pop up onto that Diamond 4 rank floor before we call it a day. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Great to see still 1,600 people in here. And remember, this is going to be our last match of the day, but a whole bunch of matches are going to get published on YouTube shortly after I'm done. And I'll be back again tomorrow at 8 a.m. Central Time. Here basically every day of the week, Monday through Friday. Yeah, I think this is fine. So, like, Binding into Calls the Dead sees a lot of cards, and this can pick up a... Storm Herald. Get a lot of chances to mill into Storm Herald with the sequence. For the follow Rob Flow. I want to turn off auto-order triggered abilities. We can mill with this before this happens the next turn. Well, I guess that doesn't really matter, right? Because this targets. Rix is bulky here, looks like. We did Dead Guy Ale yesterday, so I didn't do Dead Guy Ale again today, but if you didn't see it yesterday, it was good and worth watching. We played red-white mid-range today, that was excellent. If you're into sweet creature-based mid-range decks, we did red-white today. Hoots was real great last weekend, thanks for the content and the coverage. Awesome! Yeah, the Exo Gladiator tournament's gonna be soon. May 8th. I talked to my wife and get the Melee page for that put up this evening, I think. We played versus Rogues yet. Now, Rogues isn't super popular.
Mind and body should keep an open mind.
That's super unfortunate. So, kill a creature, drain them. And then we can tap Narset. Looking to fade a Sweeper or spike a Storm Herald next turn. Although is Storm Herald even lethal? He's not, right? There's only 2 things in here. I could kill Narset, but then I wouldn't get to draw a card. I'd really like to draw a card. Those are interesting ones. I think we bottomed these, right? I guess playing this now means I don't draw the card with the one from the bin. They have a Heartless Act face up here, but they want to save their Narset rather than their life total. I'm fine with that. We hit them for 10.
I won't forget our time together.
And like next turn we can just cast these. This will be another match where we pivot our post-board plan to the fair deck. How many lands do we start saving lands for looting? 6. Because I want to be able to hard cast Prodigious Growth if we draw it. So we'll hold lands from here on out because of looting. Chupacabra is an interesting one, so they're more mid-rangey then. I guess this is pretty good with Release the Wind, so. I'm gonna put this on a land, because if they kill my thing in response, I don't get to draw a card. Man, their deck is real weird. It must be a Gearhulk deck then too. I guess Gearhulk is also good with Release the Winds. A lot of big greedy stuff, huh? They tapped there, which I assume means we're dead. Maybe it was just a thought erasure. We can just like find. We had 1 Storm Herald and 26 cards. We could find a Storm Herald or a Reanimate spell. This mill us into a Faithless Looting. Man, we've had 0 lootings in 30 cards and 1 Storm Herald. We've been really bad with this deck today, and we've still won a lot of matches with it. Well, I mean, this gives us 3 looks at Faithless Looting. Easy block. Three looks at Faithless Looting, chat. Right, 3 lootings and 23 cards. 3 lootings and 20 cards? Right, we bottomed. I forgot we bottomed 3 cards too. So that's like even 3 extra looks. Well, there go our friends. Any removal spell or counter spell gets this here. Commit. Okay. Man, Klothys is so good. There should probably just be... There should probably just be three to four Klothys in our sideboard. These random control decks that people play just basically have no answers to it. They definitely don't have permanent answers. They have like temporary solutions, but Klothys is a very permanent problem. You just like resolve her on 3, and she'll likely do close to the full 20 for you. Witherbloom better for the post board plan than Stitcher. Nah, Stitcher attacks. So black, red, green. It's a curve. 1, 2, 3. I think I get rid of the Valky just because they're probably a Release the Winds deck. Howdy, Brad. Went for the hospital. Everything all right? Emergency appendectomy last night. That's appendix, right? Glad you're all right. Storm Herald sounds lovely as a haste threat. I just take their threat here. Yeah, I think my one piece of feedback after we finish this is probably third Klothys. It's gonna like take a 7 ball here. As close as good enough to main deck. No, it's just not. It doesn't like your main deck needs to be all linear game plan. Like in order for a piece of interaction to be good main deck, it needs to be something like what's it called? It needs to be something like Witherbloom Command, where it's like an interactive piece and also does more than that. Oh, yeah, I should have put on something that was attacking. If I'm being honest, my mind slipped that it was going to. It's been a long day. I just blanked on the fact that Alright, so I'm gonna try and Rune of Might this. They'll Heartless act it. I'll Storm Herald and get the Rune of Might back. Hit them for 4. Honestly, looking at how my opponent sideboarded this game, does it look like they boarded in Graveyard Hate or anything like that? Do I pivot back to our Storm Herald plan for game 3? Is it crazy? Is it crazy to pivot back? I guess their deck has a lot of disruption. Yeah, but I mean, like, even if they just didn't draw it, they didn't mulligan or look for it either, right? It's a little bit risky. Yeah, our post-board plan's probably just good enough. How was the Climb deck? The Climb part of it was good. The Splinter Twin combo part of it was awful. Yeah, our mid-range plan does seem good into the removal suite. Yeah, I think we're just gonna stay the course. Yeah, I think even if I did pivot back, we would leave Klothys in post-board against their interactive heavy deck. Alright, chat, this is it. This is for the Diamond 4 rank floor. Hand's pretty good. Yeah, they also might just have cards like Grafdigger's Cage that just don't work against us. Take the Heartless Act here. Try and pinch them on efficiency. Hoping that this mills a land to get back, and then we draw a land next turn. Yep. Really want to hit untapped land here. All of our lands are untapped, so just any land so we can close the dead here. And then this will guarantee us our 4th land on 4. Yeah, Quandrix Command with Growth Chamber Guardian seems quite absurd in a fun way. Yes, we're gonna put Rune of Might on the binding, because this can go on anything. So this way, when this dies next turn, the Rune of Might ends up in the bin, so we can pick it back up with this. I don't think I want to YOLO the Klothys. We start here. Okay, and then we can do this and this. Yeah, a number of tech speaks. Our deck's pretty consistent at what it does. He's doing what Thoughtseize does best. Well, that milled our Thoughtseize on top of the deck. Awkward. Hey, congrats, Bluefire. Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like we are not going to quite make it into Diamond today. Suppose there's a world where we draw an untapped green source here. We go Ceratops into Ceratops. Oh, we just lost the Ceratops. Oh, now they just don't attack. Rough beats. All right, that's gonna wrap up for me here today. I think I messed up, and I think my gut instinct to pivot back into the. That's something you shouldn't be afraid to do, and I let myself be afraid to do it there. Based on the fact, like, how little respect my opponent had for a powerful graveyard deck in the post-board games there, I think I made the mistake of letting myself be a little bit scared and not boarding back into the combo, because they wouldn't have been able to respect it. So I think I'm pretty happy with this main deck, all things considered. Maybe, I don't know that I'm sold on Witherbloom Command necessarily. I could see this being another calls the Death Dweller, like another Setessan Training, just to like increase consistency a little bit. The sideboard, I would definitely change 2 cards. These Inquisitions are silly. I think I would make them a singleton, Duress, and then a 3rd copy of Klothys. I think Klothys is just so very good against like that last fair decks, and that's where we really want to board this sideboard plan in against. We want to board it in against decks that are going to be like grinding us out and have things like Rest in Peace or things like that. So, and Klothys acts as a wonderful piece of main deck hate. So like against Blue-Red Phoenix, for example, we'd probably keep our main board game plan in, and we'd board in Klothys to have a little bit of disruption while we try and execute our primary game plan. Enough good enchantments to make Calyx good and historic? No, probably not. Calyx is just like really slow and clunky and incredibly fair. This feels like Green-Black Soulflare and Pioneer. If Green-Black Soulflare was good, maybe. This, as someone who's like played Soulflare's like a lot of setup for a very low payoff, whereas like this deck has a lot of setup and can kill people on turn 3. So the upside in this deck is way higher than the upside that Soulflare has in Pioneer in my experience.